for the box office. It seems it's a pretty good week for everybody but the Walt Disney Company, of course. Um, Weapons, but it seems like another pretty bad week for Disney as well. As one of the quote unquote most anticipated movies of the year underperforms at the box office. Yeah, I'm not talking about Weapons, I'm talking about Freakier Friday. But I still think that movie still has a path to make money, unlike um like most Disney movies released this year. The first movie we have is Weapons, which is the big movie of the week, and that's a horror movie, I believe. So, yeah. And we'll have to wait to see how this movie performs over the next couple of weeks, because, of course, I still think Sinners box office was a massive fluke. Okay, I know a lot of people like that movie, but as well. But we have to wait to see how the movie performs on the day box office. But again, if you make good movies, people go and see them. A wonderful concept that Disney needs to learn. If you make something that's good, people go and see it. Okay, Weapons is what I heard was a good movie. I don't watch horror movies that much, but Weapons I heard was a good movie. And guess what? When you make good movies, people go and see them. Okay, actual good movies, not crap like Booksmart. Okay, or garbage like Cuties that is disgusting as well. Okay, what's funny? Booksmart was considered one of the best movies of 2019. It's literally one of the worst movies I've ever seen. So, this movie made $38 million at the box office. No, not $48 million. That's the budget. $42 million domestically, and ended up making $30 million globally as well. Weapons at the very end, and if you look at the numbers is making, it is gonna break even and make money. Okay, considering how well received this movie is, it'll probably have decent sales. As I don't know if it'll pull Sinners numbers, but it's very close to breaking even. So, very, very, very close to breaking even at the box office. So it's very good. An original movie doing this well at the box office. Something that Elio wishes it had as well. Something that Disney hoped with Elio and Risk. Two movies that were bad and nobody wanted to go see. Okay, what happens when you make a movie that people actually want to see? Well, guess what? It makes money. And that's something that Disney needs to understand. Okay? As well. Okay. Then we have Freakier Friday as well. Okay, yeah, this movie isn't doing as well I think Disney hoped it would make. Okay, 29 million is not a very good opening for a sequel to a supposed classic movie. Okay, given the fact that this movie was supposed to open like in the mid 30s, this is actually an underperformance to a sequel to a supposed classic. I never watched the original Freaky Friday. I probably never will see it, but this movie will probably still make back its money. $44 million globally is still a decent opening for a lower budget movie. But again, I think Disney was hoping to have Sinners of those numbers with this movie. Open to a massive like 50 million opening because Disney wanted to, pander towards nostalgia as well as much as they possibly can. It seems that that stuff doesn't work anymore, Disney, okay? It worked with Lilo and Stitch, but Lilo and Stitch was an ongoing franchise that, people of all ages enjoyed. Freaky Friday is only a movie that's enjoyed by millennials, and most of them didn't even go out to go see this movie. So, no one went to go see this movie, Disney, okay? I just don't understand. This movie will still make money either way, given the fact that it has a small budget and it already is like halfway there. But yeah, Disney's not gonna be making a lot of money off this movie. It'll probably do well on Disney Plus. Considering the fact that it might be like an Enchanter, well, people are like, that a lot of people might be holding off for Disney Plus, but these are not very good numbers for a movie that was supposedly one of the most anticipated movies of the year. Yeah, there was really a list of what movies we anticipating for the rest of the year. I was like, this is one of the most anticipated movies for the rest of the year. And guess what? This movie isn't really doing too well at the box office, okay, as well. Yeah, so yeah. They go about Freakier Friday. I think no one really asked for this movie. Okay, kind of like the Naked Gun reboot. No one really asked for it. So, and again, no one's watching it. Okay, you know. Yeah, then we had the fantastic. Oh. The bulk of this video will be about Disney's biggest failure of the year. Fantastic Four: The First Steps. Yes, this movie is a movie that should be making is performing how I have projected it would perform as well. Between $250 million domestically and $270 million domestically. I think it'll probably be around in the middle, but another 60% drop is not good for this movie as well. There is a chance this movie might not even break even. Yes, this movie might not even break even. Yes, there's a possibility. You know. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah. We haven't done a poll in a while. Last time I did a poll was which game is better, Fortnite or Marvel Rivals as well. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, I brought back a polls. Okay. As well. Okay. But Fantastic Four: The First Steps is a huge, massive failure. Okay. Like considering the fact that they marketed this movie so much, I think that I'm just gonna do the average for this movie like 2.5 times. But I think the budget, I think for this movie is probably 3 times its budget. Okay, which means this movie needs to make $600 million. I know people are good, but you're just stretching the rules of Disney, for this movie. But I really think that they spent a lot of money on marketing this movie. Okay, this movie, Google marketed the movie, YouTube marketed the movie. There was over store brands everywhere. Okay, everywhere. There was little Google Play ads and you had the fucking Fantastic Four in it, okay, as well. But most movies they use 2.5 times because most movies don't have massive marketing. I think stuff like Lilo and Stitch, stuff like Mario movie, with massive marketing, they probably do. It's probably is 3 times the budget. Same thing with Superman as well. Okay, but this movie is doing worse than Superman at the box office. Okay, this movie is doing worse than Jurassic World Rebirth, and it's also below the average movie as well. When an average movie of perform, we can compare this to Jurassic World Rebirth and Superman. Okay, so Jurassic World and Superman at the same time. Okay, day 13 for Fantastic Four: The First Steps, $230 million for this movie. Okay. Day 17 for Jurassic World Rebirth was $259 million as well. Okay, Jurassic World Rebirth is doing better than Fantastic Four. Okay, way better. Okay, than Fantastic Four. Okay, way better. Okay, so this is Fantastic Four versus Jurassic World Rebirth. And its third Sunday, Jurassic World Rebirth made $3 million more than Fantastic Four: The First Steps. Okay. You can do the weekend comparison too. Jurassic World Rebirth and Superman were making around the same amount of money. And it seems both of these movies were performing very similar, except that Jurassic World Rebirth is, doing a bit worse than Superman as well. Okay. As well. And Superman and Jurassic World Rebirth seem to be beating out, Fantastic Four: The First Steps, despite, every fucking media site fucking advertising the hell out of this movie, okay? You had so many collabs and tie-ins with this movie, okay? As well, okay? And this movie was a huge flop, okay? Compared to what Disney was probably expecting from Fantastic Four, okay? Given what Disney was expecting from Fantastic Four, but I think they were hoping that expecting this movie to make $1 billion. They really were probably expecting, Fantastic Four: The First Steps to make $1 billion. Okay, but it's not gonna make $1 billion. It's not gonna make money. It's not gonna break even. It's not gonna do well at the box office. Okay, this is copium from Disney fanboys who usually think that this movie was gonna be a huge hit. I said from the very fucking beginning that this movie would flop. The CGI looks ugly. Silver Surfer, for some reason, is a woman, even though in the comics, Silver Surfer was a man. Okay? Bad CGI again. Boring first trailer. Underwhelming and boring first trailer. Okay? As well. It just didn't look like a good movie. And guess what? This is the performance the movie is performing like. Okay? This is not a good performance. 60% drop is not a good performance, Disney. Okay? As well. Then we have The Bad Guys 2, again. This is an IP I really listed better, okay? Considering the fact that the first movie was so great, I don't know how great this one is, but this movie is not doing too well, okay? It's not doing too well internationally as well. I know it doesn't release until in several major countries like China, Australia, and Brazil. Okay, it hasn't released but the thing is that this movie hasn't released in many major markets yet. Like China, Australia, has not released in, Germany, Italy, obviously it has not released in many countries yet. And it was similar to the first movie as well. It also has not released in Japan yet either. But yeah, this movie isn't doing as well as the first movie. It's not doing as well as the first movie, but it might have some decent legs, all things considered. We can compare this to the first movie as well. Okay. And yeah. Wrong movie. The Looney Tunes, The Earth Blew Up. Yeah, wrong movie. We're not including that movie, okay? But yeah, The Bad Guys and The Bad Guys 2, and domestically, the movie is doing way worse than the first movie. Yep, it is doing way worse than the first movie. It is having better legs day to day, but other than that, this movie is doing worse than the first movie. But again, the difference is the movie did worst on the weekdays. But again, it is the end of the summer, so parents are probably taking their kids to see this movie because summer is almost over, and basically kids start going back to school as early as next week. Yes, early as next week, kids are going back to school. So yeah, The Bad Guys seems to be doing okay at the box office, and I don't know if it'll break even. I think that we might not get a Bad Guys 3, which is unfortunate, but that it's up to the audience to decide what they really want to see as well, okay? I thought The Bears Bad Guys was a really funny movie. I thought it was a pretty, great movie, but, just because I like something doesn't mean it'll make money, okay? That's just the way the world works, okay? Just because I want to see a Bad Guys 3 doesn't mean the public, people don't care about the movie, then, it might not do that well. So, yeah. Then we have The Naked Gun, which also dropped 50% as well at the box office. The Naked Gun, does anyone ask for another Naked Gun movie? Honestly, we have 5 or 6 Naked Gun movies. The last couple of Naked Gun movies are, terrible, okay, as well. They weren't even good movies. And this movie has, a pretty big budget, too. So, not a very great performance for this movie. So, yeah. Not a very great performance for this movie as well. And then we have Superman, which is now made for $538 million. So it's definitely slowing down globally as well. But unlike Fantastic Four, this movie has actually made a lot of money. Okay, it's having decent legs, having decent holds. A performance a movie should be doing. Okay, it's not really doing too well globally, as this movie has struggled internationally, as Superman is not really popular outside the US. So yeah, as well. But this movie has done pretty well for a movie that is supposed to be a franchise starter. Superman has done pretty well. So, as well. as well. Okay, and there was a lot of controversy also surrounding Superman as well. And even then, the movie did still was able to make back its money as well. So yeah, I think that Warner Bros is pretty happy with the numbers of the movie as well. Also, yeah, and then we have Jurassic World Rebirth, which is having decent legs at the box office for a movie that's supposedly so terrible. It is doing very well. Okay, as well. Okay, for a movie that is supposedly so bad and so terrible, a lot of people are going to go see it. Jurassic World Rebirth is going to make $800 million globally next week, but it is having pretty decent ratings for a movie that's so terrible and so horrible. Okay, as well. Okay, yeah, yeah, and yeah, the Jurassic World Rebirth continues to make money as well. It's, of course, not the best-selling movie in the franchise, mostly because these movies are doing worse in China. That's the main reason why those Jurassic World movies made so much money is because they made a lot of money in China as well. Okay, but China is not really a massively reliable market. Like the movies' main performances are doing viral since China. Dominion, I think, did like 150 million in China as well. So you already have that decline of 70 to 80 million dollars globally, simply just because it's not making the money it is making in China as well. So you know but without China, even without China, this movie is still doing pretty well as well. Because if you look at the franchise, like all these movies did very well in China. Jurassic World Dominion, Jurassic World, the second one, I think it was called Fallen Kingdom. But outside of China, this movie has done very, very, very well. Okay, and so I think what's like franchises like Transformers and Jurassic Park and Godzilla, they need to make money. They need to say, hey, we need to make money out of China, increase, our performances outside China. So I think that with those franchises, they are gonna do. As well, Jurassic World Rebirth, I think did pretty well without massive China. It still did okay. It still did well in China, but it's not making the $300 million it used to do. Okay, in China, because you look at Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, the movie. If you look at the numbers here, it made $1 billion, but 260 million of that was made in China. So if you exclude China, if it, $200 million basically, if it made the same amount of money as Rebirth, it still made $1 billion, 1.1 billion, but you're still losing a lot of this money the movies have made. So, and also it hasn't launched in Japan yet, which is Jurassic Park and Jurassic World is still very popular in. But yeah, overall, I think it still is kind of a decline globally, but not as much because most of the decline of the growth is in the domestic market and in China. So yeah, most countries, they still like this franchise, so it's still doing pretty well elsewhere. But the main declines for Jurassic World movies is domestic market and the Chinese market. So yeah, Chinese market, that is a $260 million decline, $200 million decline from Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom. That's the main decline in these movies. If it still made $300 million in China, Jurassic World Rebirth would have been $1 billion grossing movie. Okay, it still made so much money in China. The other franchise that was really negatively affected by this Fast and the Furious, which is probably why they're ending the movie franchise, honestly, as well. You have F1, the movie. Yeah, this movie is still making money as well. Made another $2.8 million as well, making $570 million as well here. And yeah, I got people complain about the racing Superman now in PVOD, but Superman is basically nearing the end of its spot. It has like a couple weeks left anyway, so it's gonna lose feed to newer movies. And usually when movies come out on PVOD, it's usually when the movie is basically done. The only movie that really hurt was Wicked as well, but yeah, but F1 has made a lot of money. It's doing F1, the movie is doing exactly how I predicted it would perform at the box office. It would make $500-600 million globally simply because of how popular F1 is in Europe. So yeah, they have Together by Neon. Yeah, I have to talk about the boring movies that nobody watches, but this movie has made $18 million. Yeah, no one is watching this movie. So yeah, no one's like this movie is not doing too well. So yeah, not a very high performing movie. No one cares about it, but yeah. And then we have Skets, another movie that no one cares about. And yeah, I think that's the problem with these non-fantasy movies is we never that a lot of these movies we never hear about them. Okay, we never hear about these movies are coming out. These are must-see movies. No, no one's going to see this movie as well. Here, Skets as well. Comes the F1 movie. Yeah, it's doing very, very well in Europe as well. It's doing very, very well in Europe, like, very well. Not too surprising there, but, yeah, the F1 movie, again, it doesn't have complete numbers, though, but, yeah, very, very well, no, very good numbers in Europe as well. It also did very, very well in China, too. Okay, so F1 might have some audiences, and, like, F1 is a global thing, okay? Like, if you're into racing at all, I think you probably have watched F1 before as well. I think this also makes it the highest grossing racing movie of all time as well. Movie about racing cars. No. I think that would be Cars. I think Cars made more money, but yeah. But Cars is a animated movie, so yeah. Except domestically, I think Cars made more money though, but do they count Cars? Yeah, they do. They do count Cars. So yeah, is Cars make more money? Is Cars higher? Iron Man 2 counts. I know the movie. I know it's like scenes on a racetrack, but no, Cars has not made more money than F1. So we're talking about real racing movies, not Iron Man 2. That doesn't count, okay? That doesn't count as a racing movie, okay? Movies where racing is the sole focus of the movie, like Cars. I think it doesn't for if racing Cars would win as well, but yeah, F1 the movie lost in the US to Cars, obviously, but globally it has won against Cars and Cars 2. So, yeah. Cars 2, F1 the movie still lost to Cars 2 domestically as well, but yeah. Then we have Wolverine. Well, Yenta does have the racing subplot, so that technically counts, but F1 the movie beat Wolf Breaks Internet either way, so yeah. Gran Turismo did okay. It beat Cars 3, obviously. Cars 3 underperformed a lot, though, but yeah. It also beat Ford v Ferrari, which was a massive underperformance since movie as well. But it seems that F1 the movie, because of how popular F1 is in Europe and how global F1 is, no surprise that movie made so much money, okay? They're probably going to make more F1 movies as well, okay? And I won't be surprised if we get a NASCAR movie, because NASCAR is the US equivalent to F1 as well, okay? Yeah, but that's what this video here. Goodbye.